I'm Katie, a climate activist from so-called Vancouver, which is the unceded lands of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. I'm with the youth organization Sustainabiliteens, and our organization was responsible for orchestrating Vancouver's biggest climate strikes, mobilizing over 100,000 people in September 2019. We're here to fight for climate justice centering around equity and joy. We're a force to be reckoned with. Personally, I've been involved in the movement for nearly 2 years, and social media has been a big part of my work. Seeing the power of a post is immense, and that's why I love working as a Sustainability social media coordinator. In this episode, I'm going to explore how social media can be an incredible tool, but also show you how real change doesn't just happen online. Let's face it, for better or for worse, we spend a lot of time on our phones. Social media has quickly become a source of news and information for a large portion of the population. A recent report by Reuters showed that over 50% of Canadians use social media to access news on a regular basis. Social media platforms including Facebook and Instagram have been incredible tools for Sustainabiliteens. We use it to share information about the climate crisis and to let people know when and where we'll be protesting. We take a lot of effort in writing and designing our posts, and we've learned a lot about how to create engagement with climate justice issues. But as climate activists, we know that likes and shares do not translate into measurable change. We can't simply Instagram our way out of the climate crisis or systemic issues. We need people in power to step up, and when they don't, we have to, because we all know about how dire climate change and its effects are. In the Sustainabiliteens, we know that showing up works. To address the climate crisis in Vancouver, we had to start at the beginning, and the first step for us was getting the city to formally recognize that we are in a climate emergency. But declarations mean nothing without action. So in November 2020, we showed up to the City Hall once again to support the Climate Emergency Action Plan, and to make sure the city's declaration was followed by concrete action. Let's take a look at how we got all 35 sections of the plan passed. Okay, so what was the first step in getting the Climate Emergency Action Plan passed?
We knew we needed to put pressure on the city, so we started to plan an action. We created toolkits for businesses, students, and NGOs with other organizations.
What was the next step?
Next up, we needed support from city councillors, so we reached out to representatives across the city to schedule meetings to talk about our action plan.
Building up to the action, we reached out to the media, sent them an outline of our message, and invited them to the event.
Now it was time for the event, so we got Sustainabiliteens and some other organizations to come out to City Hall. We made posters, brought a microphone and speaker, and created a hashtag for the event.
And finally, when it was time for council to vote, we signed up to speak at City Hall to advocate for our action plan.
Thanks for sharing these steps and creating change in real life. As the Sustainabiliteens and members of the youth climate movement, we are here to make meaningful change for the long run because we are based in joy and community. Anyone and everyone can make up an important piece in our overall collective action. If you're able to, there are so many ways that you can sustain the fight for climate justice beyond social media. You could write a letter to your MP, join a local climate group, you could use your passions and interests in the fight against climate catastrophe, and as a tool for climate advocacy. But it doesn't have to be protesting or advocating. It can be as simple as having a conversation about climate. About justice. I mean, we do need to get off our phones anyway. It could start with being more present and talking to the people around us.